So aside from a lot of the inside baseball that we always talk about, the person who's trying to figure out, well, what would be the difference if I vote for Bellone or Carpenter? What difference would there be if you, I mean, what are the differences between them? Is there any?
Well, on issues, there's not that, I mean, in terms of the big sensibilities, as I said before, there's not that big a difference. Neither of them wants to lay people off. Neither of them wants to raise taxes. They've said they're not going to do both of those things.
But beyond that, in their approach as what we've seen of them in government, and they've both been in government somewhere, is there anything one can say that, is there any stark contrast at all between them?
I think that Steve Bellone qualifies as what we call a conservative Democrat, and Angie Carpenter, qualifies as a moderate Republican, which means they're back to back. I mean, it's not that much daylight between them ideologically and in terms of their governing philosophy. There are differences that voters are going to be able to see because Steve Bellone ran a town. They can see him, imagine him in an executive position. Angie Carpenter is saying, well, wait, I ran a county-wide agency.
First woman to be running for this office. They've not had women in these roles. And she was a businesswoman, too. Yeah. Steve Bellone will say, I know what it's like to perform under pressure, even under fire. He was a captain, I believe a captain in the Army. And That's
Angie Carpenter will say, look, I know what it's like to meet a payroll under pressure without relying on tax dollars. I think both of them have narratives that are appealing, and they're both competing for relatively few voters. The Republicans are probably going to vote for Angie Carpenter. The Democrats who come out are probably going to vote for Steve Bellone. And then there are those moderate independents. And that's who they're going after.